Welcome to CricWorld Straight Up by Vijay and Prabhu.
In the first video of the year, Prabhu predicted Australia will win in India. Didn't you, Prabhu?
Yes, I did. Australia will probably end up winning either 2-1 or 3-1. And it looks pretty good at the moment.
You think it looks pretty good? Let me show you what I found. Let's look at the Border Gavaskar trophy, named after Alan Border, the Australian great, and Sunil Gavaskar, the Indian great. As you can see, in 1996, the first game was held under this trophy. And then there is 2001. Who can forget the 2001, Prabhu?
Absolutely. Come from behind victory at Calcutta, Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman. Just an amazing performance. And of course, 30 wickets by Harbhajan in that series as well.
Absolutely.
So yes, all in all, very memorable.
Absolutely. And then comes the 2004, Australia triumphing in India, followed by the great success under Virat Kohli in 2018-19 series. Now that was the first time ever India had won in Australia.
This series has now become probably the second most awaited series in the calendar after the Ashes.
That's right. It's almost like a finger-licking series. I can't just wait when it starts. As you can see in front of you, there's a chronological order from 1996 till the last series that was played in Australia. You will see that there are three series which have been highlighted. One is the 2004 win of Australia in India, then India's first win in Australia in 2018-19, and then immediately followed after that the second series that under Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane that India won in Australia. As you can see in the slide, 15 series. One was drawn, 5 were won by Australia, and India have won 9 series. That's a formidable record. Now let's look at the tests. Total number of tests 52, out of which Australia has won 19, and here we go, India has won 22. Are you still convinced, Mike?
Well, I think it is a formidable record by India. But you know what? I've got something to say as well. I'm going to show you something about Australia's performance in the last couple of years, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's not a problem at all.
Okay, so Australia is just coming off in red hot form, beating West Indies and South Africa 2-0 each, and having hammered England 4-0 as well, and then more importantly having beaten Pakistan 1-0. Now Pakistan is normally supposed to be very tough conditions to overcome, and they've done just that. And under Pat Cummins, they are coming to India with the same hope, like you said, the final bastion, the last frontier. And I've got plenty to talk about that as well, as to what my reasons are for holding on to my prediction.
All right, I've got some more facts for you. Let's have a look at Australia's record in India. Why do they call it the final frontier, the last bastion, the Mount Everest? Let's have a look at that. So, Australia and India have won only once in 2004. Now, India have won 7 series, as you can see in the slide, and drawn 1. Now, in terms of tests, they have played 25 tests in India. And how many have Australia won? Australia has won only 5 tests. Now, is that good enough?
Well, those are different circumstances, different captains, and different teams. Today, we have a different set of circumstances.
Okay, I can see that you're still not convinced. No problem. I've got one more set of facts for you. These are the countries which have won most consecutive test series at home. Okay? So you got South Africa there, England, West Indies. Look at their numbers, 7, 8. Australia has done it twice at home in 2 different eras. Incidentally, obviously, India was the one who actually broke their record on both occasions. So there you have Australia winning 10 twice. let's look at India's record. There you go. 14 Test series wins at home and counting. The last time they lost a series was in February 2013. They haven't been beaten at home since then. So I take your point that Australia has done pretty well in the subcontinent in the last. And of course, I pointed that out too along with you in the first video. But you can't ignore these facts. You can't ignore this record, can you?
Oh, these are amazing numbers by any stretch of imagination. If you go by the numbers and the history, India does start as favorites against Australia. There's no question about it. But then again, I have my own theory.
How about sharing that theory, my friend?
Okay, let's look at the Indian team for starters. You look at the top. You have a captain who is largely inexperienced in Test cricket as captain of India. He's untested. Then you look at the top 5 who haven't really scored runs in the last 2 or 3 years. They are struggling for form in the longer format of the game. And the biggest hit was when you had a Pant injury, very unfortunate. And I think that is the balance of the team, which is going to be, very badly affected.
Well, I give you that. I'll give you that because we actually did discuss exactly the same points. That on the balance of teams, India seems to be the weaker team. But mind you, India is playing at home and home advantage with heat, with dusty wickets, with hundreds of thousands of fans in the stadiums, and all that goes with the sights, the sounds, the smells of India. Yes, you're right. So Indian subcontinent is conquered to an extent by Australia. But India is a completely different beast, my friend. And I want to point that out. Are you still not convinced?
No, I think the other thing was that if you look at the return of Jadeja, the possible return of Jadeja, if fit, again, he's untested for the last 8 months or so because of injury. So his return will be very interesting. He may or may not be able to bowl that effectively, and he may or may not be able to field that effectively. If he does play, that is the scenario. If he doesn't, then Aksar, again, he's not much of a turner. So it all depends on what kind of wickets the selectors and not the selectors, I would say the BCCI and the team management would want. Rank turners, little bit of grass, or spin from day 2 or 3, big question mark. The other thing was that if you look at the Pacers, Indian Pacers, I'm not very convinced that they are wicket-taking bowlers in Indian conditions. Getting 2 wickets in the first 20 overs might be a little bit of a hard task for them, given the performances in the last few years. So again, all in all, I would say Indians, yes, they have done well in patches, but in against a very professional team like Australia, it might just be a different kettle of fish.
So a couple of things can be going in your favor, my friend. One is that Australia normally start pretty well. If you look at what they've done in many series against India in India, they have kind of come and won the first test. They did that in 2000, the famous 2001 series. They did that on a few other occasions as well. But when India picks up its game, that it's too late for the opposition. And that is what they've done. So I'm not taking anything away from the Australian team. I want to agree with you. My head agrees with you. I'm not disputing that one bit. But the record, and of course, a record is only a record and has to be broken at some point. So who knows? Australia might be the nemesis. I respect that. I respect your view. It's not that. But the record is not something that can be easily ignored. Unless you field a completely miserable team. Even then, if you look at what happened in Australia, with majority of the stars going out, and Australia fielding the toughest team on the topmost team, India managed to beat them 2-1. After being bowled out for 36, the lowest ever score of India. You can't ignore that.
Yeah. See, I think that the change in captaincy for Australia is the key. Cummins is a much better captain than what we had, the Tim Payne, and much more formidable. If you see the record, they hardly lost a game ever since he was captain. So that is, for me, the key, the captaincy skills of Cummins against Rohit Sharma.
Okay. So all this means that you still stand by your prediction.
Well, it looks that it'll go that way. I mean, things can change, injuries can happen,
Sure.
But yeah, this is the prediction after all.
I'm not trying to catch you out, but when we started to look into this, you and I found these facts which are right in front of you. Folks, what do you think? Do you think that you want to go with Prabhu's prediction that India will be on the losing side this time? Or would India stick to its record and do what it is supposed to do well at home? Do write your comments.
And don't forget that we are covering it live from Australia and New Zealand. This is going to be Australia winning this series by a big margin. And you guys are going to watch me win this one against Vijay.
Well, we'll see, mate. We'll see.
Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss another video.